Ladies and gentlemen, today we are diving into something profound, something that resonates deeply within each and every one of us. Love. Love is a concept that transcends time, culture, and circumstance. It has the power to heal, to transform, to connect, and to uplift us in ways nothing else can. But despite its beauty and potential, many of us find ourselves standing at a distance, hesitant, unsure, and even fearful of fully embracing love. Why is that? Why do we fear something that at its core is meant to be a source of joy and fulfillment? Why does love, which has the potential to bring out the best in us, also stir feelings of dread, vulnerability, and unease? It all begins with understanding that our fear of love is not a fear of the feeling itself, but of the pain that we associate with it. Love in its purest form does not cause harm. It is the experiences we have had with love that have left us scarred, vulnerable, and sometimes broken. Many of us have faced betrayal, disappointment, or abandonment at the hands of those we loved. And with each heartbreak, we built walls around our hearts, convincing ourselves that it's safer to shut love out than to risk the agony of being hurt again. We've all been there, standing at the threshold of a new relationship, hesitant to take that step forward. We wonder, what if this ends in pain? What if I give my heart to someone and they leave me with nothing but heartache? And so we choose to play it safe. We tell ourselves that it's easier to be alone, that we don't need anyone else to be happy. But deep down, we yearn for connection. We long for the love we've been avoiding, even though we fear what might come with it. But here's the thing, love is not the enemy, it never has been. It is the fear of pain that holds us back. Fear that over time has become a protective shield we think will keep us safe. Yet in doing so, we lock ourselves away from the very thing that can heal our wounds, build our strengths, and fill us with happiness. We allow past hurts to control our future, and in doing so, we miss out on the incredible possibilities that love can bring. The good news is that we can unlearn this fear. We can heal from our past experiences, let go of the pain, and learn to love again. This is not a quick fix. It is a process, a journey of self-discovery, vulnerability, and ultimately trust. It requires the courage to step outside of our comfort zones, to be vulnerable, and to trust that not every relationship will result in hurt. Love, when given the chance, can be a force that elevates us, heals us, and connects us in ways we never thought possible. In the coming moments, we are going to explore the deeper layers of this journey. We will talk about understanding the fear of love, healing from past wounds, and most importantly, how to open our hearts to love again. It's a journey that will require introspection, self-compassion, and patience. But I promise you, by the end of this, you will see love not as a source of fear, but as a powerful, transformative force that you are more than worthy of. So I invite you to lean in, to listen closely, and to allow yourself the space to reflect on your own relationship with love. Together, let's break down the walls that fear has built and step into the light of what love can truly be. Because you deserve to experience it, not with fear, but with an open heart, ready to receive all the beauty it has to offer. Let's begin this journey together. Understanding the fear of love, it's one of the most powerful forces on earth. It has the ability to heal, to uplift, to transform. But for many of us, love is also the one thing that feels terrifying. It's something that we crave yet hesitate to fully embrace. We may have had our hearts broken, experienced betrayal, or been let down by someone we trusted. Over time, those experiences leave scars, some visible, others buried deep. And as a result, we build walls, we guard our hearts, we create barriers to protect ourselves from the pain we believe love brings. So, what are we truly afraid of? Is it the feeling of love itself, or is it the fear of being vulnerable, of exposing our truest selves to someone else and not being accepted? The fear of being hurt again, of trusting someone only to have them disappoint us or walk away. It's easy to think that love is the problem, but the truth is you're not afraid of love, you're afraid of pain. You may have been hurt before, and that's understandable. You opened up to someone, let them in, and perhaps they didn't handle your heart with the care it deserved. Maybe they betrayed you, ignored your needs, or broke your trust in ways that left you feeling hollow. So, as a defense mechanism, you retreat, you shut yourself off, you protect your heart, even though it aches to be loved, to be seen, to be held. You begin to tell yourself, I don't need anyone, love isn't worth the risk, or I'm better off on my own. But let's pause here for a moment and really think about this. Love is not the enemy, it's never the love itself that hurts us. It's how we allow ourselves to experience it. Love can only be as dangerous as we let it be. And sometimes we mistake past hurt for a permanent truth. We assume that because we've been hurt in the past, we will be hurt again in the future. But life is not a repeat button. Every relationship, every connection is unique, and every person who crosses your path is not the same as the one who wounded you before. Here's the harsh reality. Fear will never allow you to experience the fullness of love. If you let fear dictate your choices, you will never know the beauty of a healthy, trusting, and deep connection. Fear doesn't make us stronger, it keeps us isolated. It keeps us locked in a place of what-ifs and maybes, never giving us the chance to experience the healing and growth that love can offer. Now, I know it's not easy to just switch off fear. It's not something you can simply wish away. Healing takes time, and opening up to love again is a big step. But it's important to understand that love is a gift. It's not something that should be feared. It's not something that should be avoided. The fear of love comes from a place of protection, and it's natural. But in protecting yourself from potential pain, you may be closing yourself off to the very thing that will heal you. It's time to begin to ask yourself, what am I truly afraid of? Is it the risk of being hurt again? Or is it the fear of opening my heart so wide that I become vulnerable only to have someone reject me or not appreciate me the way I deserve? I want you to know that being vulnerable is not a weakness, it's a sign of strength. It takes incredible courage to open your heart to someone again after you've been hurt. But in doing so, you make room for the kind of love that could truly change your life. So let's get clear on something right now. Love is not the problem, fear is. And here's the good news. Fear can be unlearned, it's not permanent. It doesn't have to control your future. If you've been running from love out of fear, it's time to stop. It's time to acknowledge that while love may come with risk, the reward is worth the journey. You can learn to love again. You can open your heart, slowly but surely, and embrace the possibility that love can be a source of strength, healing, and joy. Healing from the past and letting go of fear. The first step in overcoming the fear of love is understanding it, as we discussed in part 1. But understanding is only the beginning. The next essential step is healing. Because if we don't heal the wounds of the past, we will carry them into our future relationships, unknowingly bringing our fears along for the ride. Healing is a process, not a switch you can flip, but it's a necessary step in learning how to open your heart to love again. Healing begins with forgiving yourself and others. It's often easier to blame the person who hurt you, to point fingers and hold on to the bitterness. And yes, sometimes others may have wronged you in ways that are unforgivable. But here's the truth. Holding on to that pain only hurts you. You may feel that if you forgive, you're letting the other person off the hook. But that's not what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is freeing yourself from the weight of anger, resentment, and sadness that holds you captive. Forgiving others doesn't mean excusing their actions or pretending they didn't hurt you. It means choosing to let go of the control that hurt has over your life. When you forgive, you stop allowing past pain to shape your present and future. You give yourself permission to heal and move forward, and you allow yourself the possibility of experiencing love in a pure, untainted way. The next part of healing is forgiving yourself. Too often we blame ourselves for the things that went wrong in past relationships. We wonder what we could have done differently, what we missed, or how we might have avoided the pain. But the reality is, relationships are a two-way street. You can only control your actions, not the actions of others. Be kind to yourself. Recognize that everyone makes mistakes and no one is perfect. Don't hold yourself hostage to guilt or regret. Instead, use the lessons learned to grow and evolve. Healing also requires letting go of the fear of vulnerability. Vulnerability is often viewed as a weakness, especially in a world that emphasizes strength, independence, and self-sufficiency. But here's the paradox. Vulnerability is actually the key to real strength. It takes incredible courage to let your guard down and be vulnerable with another person. But when you do, you invite deeper connections and create space for authentic, meaningful love. If we continue to live in fear, we close ourselves off from the very things that will help us heal. Love, in its truest form, is built on trust, communication, and openness. You cannot experience these things if you remain in fear, hiding your heart behind walls you've carefully built over the years. Letting go of fear means giving yourself permission to be seen, to show your true self, and to trust that this time things can be different. Another vital part of healing is learning to trust again. And this starts with trusting yourself. When you've been hurt, it's easy to question your judgment and second-guess your decisions. But you must remind yourself that you are capable of making sound choices. You are worthy of love. Trust yourself to know what you need and what you deserve in a relationship. Trust your intuition. And trust that not every person is out to hurt you. As you heal, you'll begin to notice that the fear starts to diminish. It won't disappear overnight, but with each step you take toward healing, you'll find that it becomes a little easier to open your heart. You'll feel lighter. You'll begin to see love as something beautiful and worth embracing, rather than something that comes with inevitable pain. Remember, the fear of love doesn't have to define you. You can heal, you can let go, and you can open your heart once again. By forgiving yourself and others, embracing vulnerability, and trusting yourself, you're creating the foundation for a healthy, loving relationship. Not just with someone else, but with yourself. Now, let's take this healing process a step further in part 3, where we'll discuss how to fully open your heart to love and let it transform your life. Embracing love and opening your heart to new possibilities. Now that we've covered the healing process and how to let go of fear, it's time to talk about the most transformative part of this journey, opening your heart to love again. This is where you begin to shift from merely surviving in the aftermath of past pain to actively thriving in the warmth and beauty that love can bring. Opening your heart requires courage, but more importantly, it requires trusting in the power of love. The first step in this process is to embrace love as a force that can heal, uplift, and empower you. Too often we view love through the lens of our past experiences, sometimes as a source of pain, betrayal, or loss. But love is not inherently dangerous. It is a powerful energy that has the ability to transform, create joy, and deepen your sense of connection to others and yourself. When you begin to see love as an empowering force, you open yourself up to receiving it in a way that is freeing rather than fearful. To open your heart, you must also set healthy boundaries. This may sound contradictory. How can you open your heart and have boundaries at the same time? But here's the truth. Boundaries are essential to creating a safe space for love to flourish. Without boundaries, you risk repeating old patterns of unhealthy relationships. Boundaries are not about shutting others out, but about protecting your emotional well-being. When you have clear boundaries, you are better able to differentiate between love that lifts you up and love that drains you. Boundaries allow you to open your heart in a way that respects your needs and keeps you emotionally safe. Next, you need to let go of the idea of perfection. Many of us have this image in our minds of what love is supposed to look like, based on romantic movies, fairy tales, or idealized stories. We often believe that love should be effortless, smooth, and without conflict. But in reality, true love requires growth, compromise, and understanding. It's okay if the journey isn't perfect. What matters is that you're willing to experience love in all its forms, imperfect, raw, and real. Let go of perfection and allow yourself to be present in a moment, appreciating the love that is right in front of you without comparing it to unrealistic expectations. As you start to open your heart, remember that love is a choice. It's a choice you make every single day. You choose to love yourself first, to show up authentically in relationships, and to be vulnerable with others. It's easy to hide behind walls and avoid the risk of hurt, but true love requires risk. When you choose to love, you choose to trust, to forgive, and to be open to new experiences. The fear of being hurt will never fully disappear, but it will become less overwhelming when you realize that love is worth the risk. Another important aspect of opening your heart is developing self-love. You cannot truly open your heart to others if you don't first love and accept yourself. Self-love is the foundation of all healthy relationships. When you love yourself, you no longer seek validation from others because you already feel complete. You set the standard for how you should be treated. Self-love is not about being narcissistic or selfish, but about recognizing your worth, honoring your feelings, and being compassionate toward yourself. When you practice self-love, you teach others how to love you in return. Finally, trust the process. Opening your heart is not an overnight event. It is a lifelong journey. Some days will be easier than others. Some days you'll feel vulnerable and the fear may creep in, but the more you practice opening your heart, the easier it becomes. Trust that love will find you when you are ready, and that the right person will come into your life when the time is right. Trust that love has the power to transform your life in ways you never imagined. As you open your heart, you will discover that the fear of love slowly fades, and in its place you will find a deep sense of peace and fulfillment. You will experience love not as something to be afraid of, but as something to embrace and celebrate. By trusting yourself, setting boundaries, letting go of perfection, and embracing the vulnerability that love requires, you will find that love is not just possible, it is one of the most beautiful and rewarding experiences you can ever have. So take that step. Open your heart, trust in love, trust in yourself, and allow yourself to fully experience the magic of giving and receiving love, because you deserve it.